can't wait and react to things. You have to recognize, have vision to recognize something early on and having early action or preventive action. And so we have to understand that working together as community and clergy can only benefit our community. And when I talk about church, I'm not just talking about the Christian church. I'm not just talking about the gospel of Jesus Christ, because I understand there is one God and there are many beliefs. I respect the Muslim community as well as I respect the Jewish community, as well as I expect any other community. Whatever belief you have, believe that. But you got to believe something, and you got to stand firm on what you believe. On the flip side of what I say, we, the clergy, need the community to be positively engaged with the church. The work goes hand in hand. Amos 3:3 says, how can two walk together unless they agree? I can't get anything done fighting against you. You can't get nothing done fighting against me. We need each other. Amen? God bless you. Thank you for your time.
Imagine a focus on educational excellence or college and career readiness. Students in our community school engage a curriculum that's relevant, rigorous, and culturally proficient. Students learn to embrace diversity and open their minds and experiences to ones outside of their own. Students will experience a curriculum that is grounded in their home and community experiences, as well as gaining skills in global competence. Our students will learn top-notch skills such as data analytics, multimedia, general contracting, along with a multitude of vocational and technical trades, business management, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship. Our students can learn to investigate the world through questioning and drawing conclusions. They will recognize their own perspectives while acknowledging and respecting others. Our students will communicate their ideas and take action in order to positively impact our community, state, and even world. In our community, school, our students are college and career ready. Just imagine. The journey we just traveled is possible. Our community school can be an institution of top-notch, high-caliber community teaching and learning. We have already begun some of this great work through you, our community. I invite and encourage you to take this journey with us. We simply cannot do this without you. I leave you with this quote by Marian Wright Edelman. Education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it. Won't you join us? Thank you.
When we look at Instagram, when we look at Facebook, when we look at Twitter, and then when we think about a young man who has dreams and aspirations, for that man to be able to use this platform to show his progress and what he's doing in Rowan County, but also showing the world what he's doing, only make his product a whole lot stronger, but it makes him a whole lot more confident. And that's one of the things that we have to understand as people that are growing in this technology age. We need to see what people are doing, and we need to take what they're doing, adjust to what they're doing, and use it to teach. Now, I'm not saying that Facebook and Instagram and all these different platforms are the thing that we need to focus on teaching every child. That's not the answer, no. But what we can do is take these tools to make sure that we can reach out to people who have never been reached out to. Because if we would not have taken that chance to take this actor and put him in front of politicians, I can tell you that many people in Statesville would not have participated in the last election. But I can also tell you that right now, the program that we're doing with the Ardell Statesville school system would not even be in existence. We use media to show how we can change the world.
I'm Bridget Pfeiffer, and I'm board chair with North Carolina Connections Academy. our superintendent right here, is Nathan Curry. And Missions Academy, I'm really excited again. Our students, we have students that whether they have an IEP or 504, so having special needs and special education. One of the things I love great about our community is because every student is different. Their needs are different. So our teachers are able to reach across the lines and meet the student where they are, whether it's extra work or extra help in a subject. Although they are way across the land, they're able to meet them as if they're right next door. So we're really excited. Our teachers go over and beyond to meet the needs of every student. We have gifted children as well as we have students that are athletic or, I don't know if you guys recognize one of the fellas there. He actually plays on If Loving You Is Wrong. And so we're excited. These students are able to work ahead or get their work done, and even though they have a taxing or rigorous schedule themselves, they're able to get their work done and continue to exceed. We have National Junior Honor Society. We actually have our first prom tonight. Yeah, so we're excited about that. And this is in a virtual environment, so these students get to have socialization beyond what we think, online education is. And so it's a community within a community. You never know how much a teacher gets to touch a student, because sometimes they're in a class and out of a class and you never know what's going on with that student. But these teachers get to interact with them. When they call a student, they get to hear Charlie in the background, little baby brother hollering, or mama hollering at the top of her head, or father having, so they get to see or hear some things that's going on the inside of the home that those students might need help with as well. So like I said, we are all a community. We all play a part in touching our children. And I'm so excited, like I said, to be here and to speak on behalf of North Carolina Connections Academy, and to be able to help our community, whether it's in Rowan County, Iredell County, be able to speak to what the needs of what our children need. So thank you guys.
So you may have seen some drones flying out today, and maybe you thought, oh, those are cool toys, or that looks like a lot of fun. But I want you to think about drones not as toys, but as tools. Yes, don't get me wrong, they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to fly. But drones, more importantly, are a tool for a farmer to survey his crops and maybe see where there's a weak part of the crop without physically going across these hundreds of acres of land. It's a tool for real estate developers to get film of their buildings, of maybe a future building site. It's a tool for a power company to inspect cables, like we were talking about earlier. And so these drones, which are out here, are potential tools for us to use in the workplace. I'm Miller Morrow. I'm from Flymore Academy. We teach students to build and fly drones. Last summer we worked with the students of East Spencer. Some of the group is here. Flew drones with us today. We did our piloting camp last summer with that group, and then we also have a program, a drone engineering camp, where we're actually getting hands-on in building drones from scratch. So we're soldering, we're wiring, we're doing a little bit of programming. So that kind of goes in line with this STEM idea of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Or I have a cousin who is a high school band instructor, and he says it's STEAM, and will get really upset at me. So it's STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, to include that creative part. But I think the core of what that means is really important, even though you might hear it thrown around a lot as a buzzword to catch a parent's ear. I think at the core it's learning by doing. It's not learning by listening to a lecture, or just listening to a lecture, or just reading, or just doing workbook problems. It's learning by actually working with your hands, building something, creating something.
right, young man. What I want you to do is blow that balloon up. While he's doing that, I'm going to pour some more there. While this young man's blowing this balloon up, I want you to notice I'm using a clear balloon so you can see through it. His exhale air is a gas. It does not have a color. When we breathe, what gas do we exhale? Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a white solid called dry ice. If we exhale carbon dioxide and we freeze it, what should we see on the inside of this balloon? We should see dry ice. Alright. I'm going to take this balloon, put it in a different light, see what happens. How many people saw the movie Terminator 2? This is my favorite scene in the movie. The robot, the T-1000, crashed in the tanker truck of liquid nitrogen. While he's walking through the liquid nitrogen, he's going to start to freeze.
Hasta la vista, baby.
We're going to put this balloon in liquid nitrogen. The balloon can stay solid like the Terminator. The balloon can get bigger, it can get smaller, or it can pop. Raise your hand if you think it's pretty solid. Get bigger. Get smaller. Pop right away. What do you think? Don't take your glasses. Okay, hold that. I'm going to pour the connector into the bowl. Turn this way. Okay? You're going to hold the balloon with two hands. You're going to put the balloon down to the bowl. Now don't let go, don't be scared. All right? Okay, nice and easy. Now, when we do science, we need to show the students something and then apply it everyday life. Don't you know? Because that's where science makes its connections to, stop holding your ears, bro, that's not holding. We have to make a connection with science in our everyday life. Keep pushing. Hands on top. So you notice the balloon is getting smaller. So if we see here, it looks like a Hershey's Kiss. I'm going to push down with my spoon so we don't get a So if we exhale carbon dioxide and we freeze it, we should see dry ice in the bottom of this balloon. He's going to grab the balloon by the edge and lift it up. When he does, what you will see is a white liquid in the bottom of the balloon. It is incorrect. to tell people we exhale carbon dioxide. That's wrong. The air we breathe, this is what we breathe in. 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen. I need everybody to take a deep breath. Let it out. What you just breathed out, 78% nitrogen, 16% oxygen, and only 5% carbon dioxide. But what you exhale mostly is nitrogen and oxygen. Since we exhale nitrogen and oxygen mostly, it doesn't do anything, so they don't really tell you about it. But that's literally what we exhale mostly, nitrogen and oxygen. Also, if we inhale 21% and we exhale 16%, that means your lungs are only taking in that little bit of 5% oxygen. That's why if you smoke, your lungs are less efficient. That's why you get sick. Because you're only taking in 5% oxygen as it is. All right. So he's going to grab the balloon by the edge and lift it up. Then the two of us, we're going to blow this balloon back up on the outside. Grab it by the edge, lift it up. There, yeah. This white liquid here, that's his air. Now watch what happens. Let's go. Blow. You'll see a little bit of white stuff. That's the little bit of CO2 that we exhale. It is a solid that turns into a gas. And that process, when a solid turns into a gas, is called sublimation. It is also a physical change. The balloon is still tied off, none of the air came out. All right, that's what's happening.
Something happened that changed my life and basically pushed me into what I think, one of the things I think God put me on earth for, besides raising a daughter, was coming up with this company. Well, one of my friends that I played football with, about 2 years after graduation, I was getting my master's at North Carolina Central University, and I was sitting in my office, and one of my friends, I played offensive line, I was a center, one of my friends called me and he said, "Hey man, one of our boys, something happened last night." So he proceeds to tell me the story. The night before, our friend had went into the bathroom, his little girl and his wife were in the living room playing. He went into the bathroom, he closed the door, he pulled out his gun, put it to his head and pulled the trigger. Our friend that we called Smiley because he smiled all the time, committed suicide. We did not believe that he did that. This guy was 6'5", built like Superman. All the guys wanted to be around him because he was so cool. All the girls wanted to be with him because he was so handsome. And we said, what in the world, how could this guy commit suicide? That's impossible. We came up with conspiracy theories and all kind of crazy things, and they mentioned this word, depression. Now, we heard depression, you know, but being football players in a hyper-masculine South, that doesn't affect us. You know, being in church from when I was in my mother's stomach, and every Sunday, every Wednesday, even on Friday, we're in church. If something's wrong with you, you either pray about it or you man up, right? But how many of us know that that doesn't work all the time? It wasn't until I graduated from Winston-Salem State University and I got my first job in corporate management with Norfolk Southern Railroad, and they put me down in South Carolina, and my territory ran from Columbia, South Carolina to Augusta, Georgia. How many of you guys know that ain't Harlem? That's not, if you don't know what I mean, I'll tell you after. One of the first days that I was there, I walked into my office and there was a noose sitting on my desk as a welcome down in Columbia, South Carolina. This was 2007. Me being raised by a man who's an alpha male, I don't take kindly to threats, right? So every day I was on level 10. I was angry every day. I had high anxiety. I was stressed out every day. And so every morning, I said I couldn't let these people know that what I was dealing with. I couldn't let them see my weakness. So every morning I would get on the edge of my bed and I would get on YouTube and I would look up messages and I would say, man, I need a motivational message to get me through the day. Something doesn't feel right. I told my mom, I feel depressed, I feel down. She's like, baby, you ain't got no depression. just pray about it. It'll be all right. I said, Mama, that's not working. It's not working. I feel like the core of me, something is changing. And I was sitting on the edge of the bed. I hated my job. I was making a lot of money, but I hated what I did. And so I was sitting on the edge of the bed. I would look up all these different messages. And I found that almost like when I played football during halftime, we got a motivational talk to get through the next 2 quarters. I found that those messages helped me every single day. But at the end of the day, it wore off. And I needed it again that next morning. Well, after about 3 months, the messages were repetitive. It was the same people, the same messages. I said, man, why isn't there something, an app or something, that can know what's going on with me, have content specific to what I'm dealing with, but I can get it anonymously 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I scoured the internet. I looked all over the app store. There was not anything like it, so I created it. I created an app, and it's called Inspiring You. So who's ever listened to Pandora? So I created the Pandora for self-help, motivation, and counseling. So what you do, you log onto the app. We ask you a series of questions about what you're going through. And then as we ask you these questions, in the background, we're creating almost like your therapy channels, specific to what you're dealing with. Nobody will ever know you're getting therapy or counseling for your depression, your stress, or your anxiety. Now, going forward, I got out of corporate America, and I said, man, I want to get this into the hands of folks that really going to need it. Where is this issue with this mental health? Where is it so pervasive? And I took a look at the roots of it, and it was in our youth. And I said, man, I'm going to become a teacher. So I went to start teaching at a Title I school in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are about 98% minority. This is my last year teaching. I'll be doing my app, running my company full time. But we are, out of 160 students that I teach, I only have 3 white students. The rest of the students are Hmong, which is an area in Southeast Asia, Vietnamese, Black, Hispanic. That is it. Kids come in, they may come from environments where there's a lot of abuse. Kids may come in, they are McKinney-Vento, they're homeless, they are transient from place to place. And a lot of times they do not trust adults because of the adults that have hurt them in their lives. And what I tell people is these children that come into my classroom, it's like every kid has a tornado spinning around their mind. And as a teacher, you have to rope in 30 hurricanes while at the same time maintaining what you have to get done for the day. And so what I did, I said, man, how can I use my app to start moving the needle on student engagement and student success? And so what I did was I took 20 young black men who had the most opportunity. I created a group, and what I did was I have every student has my app on their phone. Now this is when they go home. I have a geolocator. I know where every student has access to the app, so even if they move schools, I can tell where they are. I can see the data analytics about when they use the app, if it's late at night, if it's early in the morning. So we're actually creating models. We're looking at some AI to see when we need to kind of deploy this therapy and actually what type of therapy works. And so every single student will log on. They can go into the channel. And every day, we're even creating morning message channels. So every morning they wake up, they can start to hear messages to kind of get them through the day. And what we're seeing is students are logging onto our app most between the hours of 4 to 7. So imagine you waking up in the morning and you're hearing this. You're ready to go. This is motivation every day that my students are hearing. So these are motivational messages that is culturally relevant.
High school, I'm at state. Listen to me. My daughter goes to school early. She stays.
So these messages are specific to the type of individuals that we're reaching. And so we have mindfulness and motivation to really mellow hip hop beats. So we're looking at doing things also for addiction. We have a partnership that we're going to be starting this summer with a company called Adovo that provides tablets to prisons. And so what we're going to be doing, we have a lot of kids who have fathers and mothers who are incarcerated. We're going to be giving the fathers and mothers who are incarcerated mental health counseling, as well as the kids, but also because we have a closed system, that father in jail is going to be able to send like morning messages to their kid and messages so they can have a connection. And so we can kind of decrease some of these things with depression. We just brought on, thank you.
It's impossible for those of us in different positions to fully be able to help to change policy and to look at ordinances that are created to be fair and equitable to people if we don't understand what that is. Running on Fire is one of these plays that everyone needs to go and see. It gives us an opportunity to begin some of that conversation, but it can't stop. It can't stop with the play. It can't stop by honoring the death of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That was a powerful panel discussion that happened at Hood Theological Seminary. But what happens is we go into these spaces, we have powerful discussions, and then we just stop. We just stop. And it's because we're not creating a common language to continue to push those conversations forward. So the Mayor's Equity Cabinet is going to give us an opportunity to do that. So I've been talking with Trish, so we're going to go with RCCC and try to convene our first one here in this space. And we want to move this around our community, but we need people to come back to continue that learning.
How do you build up a fallen civilization? Our teacher, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, teachers, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teach us that education is the torchlight of civilization. The educational system of this world was only given 6,000 years. It's reached its climax. It can't go any further. And all of the institutions that have come out of the educational system of this world is rooted in a falsehood. And that's the reason why we see our political, economic, educational, legal, health system collapsing. Therefore, there has to be a new educational paradigm. And the SMA Charter is a part of that new educational paradigm that will take our young people into the new world that's coming in. That's the good news. So with vision, we have to be able to see what's going to happen in the future and prepare ourselves today and prepare our young people for that. And the SMA Charter is an integral part of that. But you can't do it based off the old, outdated educational system of a world that's going out. They shall rebuild the wasted cities. Building of civilization takes STEM and STEAM. Right now, as I conclude, brothers and sisters, there are some things that are going on in the world and in America that make the work that's being done here today so important to why we have to move very quickly, because we don't have a lot of time. Two things I would suggest that you add to your curriculum, if it's not there, it may be there, is agriculture and a vocational piece. Why do I say that? Real quick. When I was growing up on the west side of Charlotte as a young black man, the ages of these young people here, I would see that the black men were the carpenters, the roofers, the framers, the brick masons, the landscapers. That's who I saw. I saw these men getting up, going to work every day, going to these type of skilled jobs. But what happened?
And East Pilsen is my reference point. And what's happened in the last 3 years is I've been kind of forced to kind of deal in Salisbury and get in Salisbury's business too. Because poverty and people suffering and humanity is suffering in Salisbury, Rowan, that's my business too. So, but when I did the summit, I told the people we were coming in to look at these demographics. No school for over 50 years. And after 25 years, it ain't white people's fault, right? After 25 years, it's our fault. This is old. This is 67% of the households in East Pilsen, which is 635 households, 735. 67% are under 200% of the federal guidelines for poverty. And that means that a mother of three is making about $1,516 a month. That's what she's not earning that. That's what she's getting from the system to take care of business. And if she's in a home, in a house, on Section 8 or on some kind of social system, 7 or 8% of that is going to pay for Salisbury's water and sewer. There's no bank, no library, no health center, no grocery store, no indoor recreation facility, no community center. That was June of 2017. In June of 2018, we'll be opening the school. So I don't put it up this year, right? So I'm not referring to the demographics like you see so often. You see the demographics used to beat your spirit down, right? So this is the vision. You know, when we bring all these different people to you, what I'm hoping that you get out of this is the economic development opportunities that are there and the social missions that have to be married to economic development strategies. So we need a bank or a credit union, right? A library where the school will take care of the library, health center, Medicaid. The number one place to make money in the black community is to do something good and try to get our people back into 100% wellness and use the Medicaid dollars, right? So we have to learn how to be scientists in our own community, right? We can't just be good at what we do. We have to be scientists. And when you see people like Sean Eccles and Sean Donnell come in and tell you that they created their own remedy, right? They cured themselves. And if you got a PhD and you can't heal nothing, then you just got powered high and deep, right? You got the BS, but it's powered high and deep, right? So what we want to do with this BLB is to create change, right? But change that you can see, change that you can touch, and when you leave out, everybody's not going to come. I'm never looking for more than 40 or 50 people. It need to be more, but the 40 or 50 have a chance to get together with your brothers and sisters in the room and strategize and then take the piece that you don't have and partner with somebody. Because there's enough energy in the room and enough brain power in the room for you to get out of this thing so that in 12 months from here, you could be talking about how you set up the bank or how you set up the grocery store or how you set up something else.